Day 4 of Where in the World is Matt Lauer in beautiful Istanbul, Turkey, home to three vast empires, the Roman, the Byzantine, and the Ottoman. Also home to a diverse population, including 12,000 Americans. And two of those Americans are joining us this morning. Anastasia Ashman and Jennifer Eaton-Gochman live here now. They're also authors of a book called Tales from the Expat Harem, Foreign Women in Modern Turkey. Hi, ladies. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
5 years here, 14 years here.
Yes.
When you call home, your friends must have questions. They must say, what's it like? What is the most common question you get?
Well, if people aren't familiar with Turkey, a lot of times we get the question, oh, do you live in tents, or do you ride camels to work, or that sort of thing, because there's a misconception that Turkey is the Middle East or that it's an Arabic country. Actually, it's Eurasian, so you're not going to find any Bedouin tents, you're not going to find any sand dune deserts. Actually, it's a little bit more Mediterranean culture, like in Italy or Greece, but more exotic.
And Anastasia, do people ever say to you, what is it like living in a Muslim country, because this is 99% Muslim, as a woman and a foreign woman? How do you answer the question?
They do ask me that, but well, one thing, I am a foreigner here, and that does give me a certain amount of leeway. I am not treated exactly the same way I would be if I were a Turkish woman, even though I am married into a Turkish family. So I would say that there's a whole range of society here. So there are traditional families and very modern families. I'm married into a very modern, secular family. So for me, I don't see much of a difference.
Since you bring up secular life, what is the political climate here right now? Because there's a case before the Supreme Court where basically the government is being sued for taking things too far in favor of Islamic rule and away from secular rule, which was supposed to be the foundation of this country. How does that affect life here?
Well, obviously there are some issues. The current administration has made some good progress in terms of bringing EU standardization to Turkish infrastructure, but in the commotion of all that, I think the country has been very slow to respond to the creeping Islamism. It hasn't affected us that much in life, but the fear that it is going to start really affecting us is causing some activity to start.
One thing this city has managed to do somehow, and a lot of cities have trouble with this, Anastasia, is be true to its history and yet turn the page and get very modern. As I mentioned earlier in the show, Newsweek said this is the coolest city in the world, from miniskirts to minarets. How did it accomplish that?
Well, you know, I think that if you think that the Turks came originally from Asia on horseback, and then the Ottoman Empire ringed the Mediterranean, the whole time mixing with different peoples and culture, but they still kept their identity, that they have the ability to be very adaptable, but at the same time, you know, be continuing to be very Turkish.
I've got probably 3 hours here after the show, maybe 2. What is the one thing I have to do before I leave?
Well, we know that you've already done the boat ride, so you've seen the beautiful houses on the Bosphorus. Next, you have to go to Topkapi Palace and see the harem quarters. Right. Absolutely sumptuous. And the last thing, we think you need to go to the hammam.
I got to get a shave, too? I got to get a shave? Okay. I have one more day before I do that.
Barbering. The men here are very well groomed.
By the way, talk about a welcome. I got a sign in the background there. Can you see this? It says Matt's Harem, which is very much forbidden, but thank you very much. Anastasia and Jennifer, thanks. Nice talking to you both.
Thank you.
Thanks for your hospitality.